Welcome! This video tutorial is a step-by-step guide for applying to the Collier Scholars Common Application and navigate the secure online portal. This scholarship application is managed by the Collier Community Foundation, or CCF. By completing one application, you may be considered for more than 70 scholarship opportunities. The first step is to access the scholarship portal using one of the following. The CCF website. To visit the Community Foundation site, go to colliercf.org and hover over the Scholarships tab at the top of the navigation panel. Select Apply for Scholarships, which will take you to this page. Click on Start Your Collier Scholars Common Application button on the right side of the page and select Apply Now. And you will be directed to the logon page. The second option is through Scholarship Connector. Scholarship Connector is a one-stop shop search engine for scholarships available to students in Southwest Florida. To visit Scholarship Connector, go to swflscholarships.org. Once you find a scholarship managed by CCF on Scholarship Connector, click on the link to apply. When you click on the link to apply, you will be directed to the login page as well. You may also receive the direct link to apply from a school counselor, local nonprofit organization that works with students, or another resource that shares this opportunity. Click on the URL provided and you will be directed to the logon page. The next step is to set up your account on the portal. This is what the logon page to the scholarship portal looks like. It will have the Collier Community Foundation logo on the top left corner and the information on the bottom to log on. The first time you access the portal, you will need to click on the Create New Account button. Please fill the required fields marked with an asterisk to create an account. Once you have entered the information, click the Next button to move to the next screen. You will be asked to set up a password. Please remember to write it down and keep it somewhere safe. CCF does not keep any records of passwords. Click on Create Account and follow the prompts on the next screen. You will be directed to a page that will ask to confirm your email to ensure you receive communication from the system. We recommend that you check your email to ensure you receive the welcome message and click on I have received the email box and then continue. If you do not see your email in your inbox, please check your spam or junk folder. If you still do not see it, click I have not received the email and send email again to have the system send the email request one more time. You can select Continue without checking, but you will need to make sure you enter information correctly so CCF can communicate with you throughout the selection process. Once you complete registration, you can go back to the original link to sign in with the credentials just created. Keep the following in mind. Only create one profile for all activity on this portal. If you forget your password at any time, you can always click on the Forgot Your Password on the logon page to reset it. You can also update any profile information on the portal at any time. The next step is to complete the application. When you log on, you will see a dashboard. Please click on the Apply button on the top right side and look for the application title Collier Scholars Common Application and click on the blue Apply button. Again, remember, if your contact information changes, please update your profile on the portal by clicking on your name on the top right corner and click on Edit My Profile. It is very important to please read instructions, directions, and notes very carefully to ensure accurate eligibility to scholarships. Also, please remember, late submissions will not be accepted and only correct and complete applications will be considered. This includes all documentation, supplemental questions, and any other information related to the application. The application uses branching logic to ask questions relevant to the applicant. For example, if you are a current college student, you will not be asked questions about high school. The application includes the following sections. Introduction. This section will list all the information you will need to complete the application. Applicant personal information. We'll ask you to complete demographic information about yourself. These questions are used to determine eligibility for specific scholarships. Eligibility questions. Some questions are sensitive in nature. Again, we only ask to verify eligibility. Sensitive questions are only visible to applicants and CCF staff. If you do not wish to answer certain questions, you can select, please, I prefer to not answer, but as the directions note, doing so may take you out of consideration for certain scholarships. Extracurricular activities and service is the next section. Please include all extracurriculars that you have been involved in the last 1 to 3 years. Please note that family obligations and work experience are considered extracurricular activities, so please include these if they apply to you. Answer a short essay on what has been most meaningful about the activities, volunteering, or work experiences you have done. Include any honors and awards recognition you have received in the last 1 to 3 years in your job, volunteering, or other activities you participate in. And include the number of volunteer hours that you have completed in the past 1 to 3 years. GPA availability. In this section, please answer whether you are able to provide GPA for the most recently completed or current educational program you have been enrolled in within the United States. If you recently started a program and do not have GPA available when you start the application, but you will have it available before the application deadline, please answer yes and add the information when it becomes available. In the GPA available follow-up section, this will appear if you indicate that you can provide GPA information. So please answer the questions related to the GPA that is most recent and include the most recent unofficial transcript. This should include final fall semester grades for the current academic year at the time of application. Under the GPA not available follow-up section, this will appear if you answer that you are not able to provide GPA. And if you are not able to provide this information, you will be asked to provide details as to why you're not able to share this information. In the General Education Information section, you'll be asked to provide information related to your current level of education and credential that you are currently pursuing or planning to pursue. Questions will determine the type of applicant you are, so it is very important to read questions carefully and answer them correctly. If you indicate that you are a high school student or a recent high school graduate, you will be directed to answer questions on the high school information section. If you indicate that you are a current college student, you will be directed to answer questions on the current post-secondary information section. Applicants will be directed to answer questions about intended future plans in the future post-secondary information section regarding the upcoming academic year. If you indicate that your education was interrupted for at least 1 year in an earlier section, the Interrupted Education Information section will appear and you will be asked to provide details. Under the high school information section, if that is the option that you indicated and this section appears, please answer the questions about graduation, school programs you have been involved in, test scores if you have them available, and counselor information. If you indicate that you are currently enrolled in a post-secondary program, the current second post-secondary information section will appear. Answer questions about the institution that you currently attend. Under the future post-secondary information section, please answer questions about the institution you plan to attend for the next academic year and the major or program that you plan to pursue or are pursuing. This includes students already in college who plan to continue or transfer to a different institution. And it also includes students who are preparing to begin a post-secondary education or continue their education after absence from their educational plans. Under the Employee Dependent Scholarship Eligibility section, answer employment questions related to you, the applicant, a parent or guardian, or spouse, if this is applicable, to determine eligibility to employer scholarships that CCF manages. If the employer scholarships are relevant to you, under Employee Number 1 Information section, please provide employment information for the first person indicated as working at one of the organizations listed in the previous section. Under employee number 2 information, if applicable, please provide the employment information for the second person you indicated as working at one of the organizations listed in the previous section. Under employee number 3 information section, provide the employment information for the third person indicated as working at one of the organizations listed in the previous section. Only complete this if multiple individuals work at the organizations listed on the original Employee Dependent Scholarship Eligibility section. Under Employee number 4 information section, please provide the employment information relevant to the fourth person indicated as working at one of the organizations listed in the previous section. Under Employee number 5 information section, please provide the employment information for the fifth person indicated as working at one of the organizations listed on the previous section, if applicable. Under the final financial questions section, answer a series of questions regarding your dependency type for financial aid purposes to determine whose information you should provide, whether a parent guardian, various parents and guardians, or your own. Answer questions about individuals in the household who are pursuing education and financial contributions from parents or guardians, as well as yourself. The federal application for student aid, known as FAFSA, will provide a provisional independent designation to students who are not able to provide financial information for their parent or guardian under one of the recognized categories. If this applies to you, answer the question to determine what category is relevant to you from the following options. Under the parent, guardian number 1 and number 2 information sections, you will complete these if the system determines you are dependent for financial aid purposes. You will be asked to provide basic contact and personal information about your parent or guardian, as well as some demographic information about them. The parent guardian number 2 section will note what to do if only one parent or guardian applies to you. Under the parent guardian financial information section, answer the question about how your parent or guardian files taxes to determine what information to upload. If the system determines you are a dependent for financial aid purposes and that your parents file taxes separately, you will be asked to provide each of your parent or guardian's most recent 1040 tax form from 2 years prior from the year of application deadline. You will see that under the parent and guardian, income and tax information, multiple filings. You will be able to provide information for parent 1 and for parent 2. If the system determines you are dependent for financial aid purposes and that your parents file taxes together, you will be asked to provide your parent and guardian's most recent 1040 tax form from 2 years prior from the year of application deadline. If the system determines that you are independent for financial aid purposes, you will be asked to provide your own most recent 1040 tax form from 2 years prior from the year of application deadline. If you indicate that you are not able to provide any tax or income information due to a specific qualifying situation, such as having been in foster care or a ward of the court, in the alternate dependency status no tax information available section, you will be asked to provide documentation about your status as a substitute for not having tax information available. In the financial resources questions section, please provide information about the cost of attendance at your first choice school if you do not know where you are going to attend next year. You will also be asked to provide information about other financial aid resources that you may be receiving, such as Pell Grants, loans, or other private scholarships. Under the section of letter of recommendation, please remember that the common application only asks for one required letter of recommendation. However, you can include up to 2 additional optional letters. You have 2 options. You can either upload the letters yourself or send a request for a recommender to complete on your behalf. If you select the recommender option, you can submit the application even if they have not uploaded the letter on their end. But please note, it is the applicant's responsibility to ensure the recommenders submit letters by the deadline. Please read the instructions. If you are not able to get the letter recommendation yourself, you will select no, and it will give you the options to send the recommender the information for the 1 required letter and the 2 optional ones. If you are able to provide the information, please click yes, and it will allow you to upload the 1 required letter and up to 2 additional letters yourself. You will have 3 general prompts that you will need to answer. The essay section is the time to highlight what sets you apart from other applicants and what makes you unique. In essay number 1, you will be asked to provide a personal statement. Tell us your story, share about your family, background, and personal interests. Describe a person, event, or activity that has shaped who you are as a person, and provide if, how, or why this has been significant to you, and what lessons you may have learned from this. You will also be asked to answer how will receiving the scholarship help you achieve your goals and dreams, and sharing what you hope to do in the future. Essay number 2 is about your academic and career goals. Why do you want to go to college? What are your academic and career goals? Is there a specific institution you wish to attend, and if so, why? Has something or someone significantly influenced your choice in study, career, or major? And discuss any circumstances that have encouraged you to pursue your education. The general essay number 3 is about community impact. Please answer the bullet points below as related to your current and future education and career. How have you made a difference in your community? How will you make a difference in your community and beyond in the future? What leadership means to you? And how will you be a leader in your community in the future? In the Special Circumstances section, please provide any information related to recent, particularly within the past year, that has an effect on your future educational plans or current educational plans. What the committees would like to see here are extenuating circumstances that have really affected your ability to continue or pursue your education. Include details that you feel the committees should know and may not be reflected anywhere else on the application. For example, your taxes may show your family doing very well 2 years ago, but more recently, maybe one or both parents may have lost jobs, or there may be illness in the family that has taken some priority in the family's finances. Please do not copy and paste responses from other sections onto this section. Also, please do not provide information that is many years ago unless it somehow has a relevance to your current situation. You will also be asked to confirm some information in the scholarship terms section. You will be asked to give CCF permission to share information about you as related to your award. You will be asked to give donors who are organizations, meaning separate 501c3s, to share your information as related to your award. You will be asked to accept a student privacy policy as well as a contacting applicant and non-sharing disclosure. And you will be asked to acknowledge that CCF will only communicate with the applicant, not a parent or guardian, if the applicant is over 18 years old. Under the FERPA Student Information Release section, you will be asked to grant CCF permission to share information related to your award to either a parent or guardian and/or your institution if you so wish. You will also be asked to agree to a true and accurate statement and sign before submitting your application. The statement will ask you to confirm that the information provided on the application has been provided by yourself and not by someone else, and that it is correct and true. Please remember that the application auto-saves every few seconds, so you do not need to complete the application in one sitting. The system will do so by highlighting a section green, as shown here. Very briefly. If you would like to double check, you can also scroll all the way to the bottom and click the Save button, and you can return to the application later. Once you sign, please take a look at the Next Steps section. Please read the section to understand what you can expect once you submit the application. As previously mentioned, if you do not complete the application in one sitting, you can click on Save Application and return at a later time. Once you have answered all questions, you can click on Submit Application. Once you submit your application, you will receive a confirmation page where it will tell you the opportunities that you are being considered for. Some opportunities may require supplemental information and will be listed at the bottom. They may require supplemental information, questions, and/or essays. These questions will not show until after you submit the general application and the system determines what opportunities you are eligible for. Supplemental questions need to be completed by the deadline in order to be considered for those opportunities. The first time you submit, the system will show what you are eligible for and any scholarships that you must answer supplemental questions for. However, if you do not complete all supplemental questions in one sitting, you can access this information from your dashboard the next time you log on by clicking on the house icon. By clicking on the house icon, you'll be taken to your dashboard, where you will see the list of scholarship opportunities that are either pending or have been completed. Any opportunity that allows you to edit has not been completed, such as this opportunity. This means there is a pending question, essay, or other information that must be entered in order to be considered for that opportunity and must be submitted by the deadline. Anything that just says view has been completed and no further action needs to be taken. You will be notified of scholarship decisions via email from the system. You can also check the dashboard periodically to see the status of opportunities as decisions are made. As you can see right here, the decision says undecided. Once a decision is made, it will change accordingly. Please keep the following in mind. For transcripts, you must include a final fall semester grades for either high school seniors or if you're a current college student. If you do not have this available until a later date, please answer all other questions on the application and hold off on submitting until your school or institution can provide you an unofficial transcript that includes those final fall semester grades. If you're not able to provide a GPA, you will be scored using a default average score by committees. Regarding taxes, please remember you must include both page 1 and 2 of the most recent 1040 tax form of either parent or guardian, both various parent and guardians, depending on how they submit taxes, or yourself, depending on the dependency status that is relevant to you. Again, do not submit until all information is available and included. Submitting applications earlier will not give applicants an advantage or a guarantee of receiving a scholarship. Submitting prior to the deadline does allow CCF staff to review and send the application back to a student if any corrections are needed. If you have any questions about the Collier Scholars Common Application, please make sure that you contact a scholarship team member from CCF. The contact information are on the screen. Thank you so much, and we wish you all the best in your academic endeavors and look forward to reviewing your application.